I'm here with Bryant Jacobs. He is running a campaign for governor, and I'm going to allow him to explain. It's a little different, so I am going to handle this a little differently. I'm not going to ask him the questions that I got from people. We're just having a discussion. Just time for you to explain what the hell you're talking about, Bryant. What it is you mean by the campaign you're running.
So Not Cops is the premise, and Not Cops Neo campaign is an overarching restart of a lot of the work that I've been doing in the past. So in my 5.5 years of active activism, I have utilized a moniker called Not Cops, and it is honestly as simple as that. It's just not cops. And it's something that needs to resonate, I think, within a lot of us because of the way we structure a lot of society based off of this need to control and police everybody. So it used to be a punk phrase, and now it's turned into a political phase. I started using it during the 2020 protests, during the Floyd years, and into the beginning of the pandemic, where it's just a desire to reimagine the way we do public safety, the way we do community care, the way that we structure society in general, because much of the systems that we have in operation are based off of violence. And a lot of the point of Not Cops is we don't need to be doing this through violence. And we don't need to be doing things through violence of old systems that have not been properly deconstructed to address contemporary society. So we are getting past a lot of these old systems, but we still have laws and regulations and policies that are reflective of very bigoted, racist times in our history. So a lot of what ends up being enveloped in this is a systemic audit over our systems, particularly over the systems of policing. So it's a belief of mine that, first of all, money is fake. Second of all, property is theft. And the only thing that maintains any of this is gratuitous violence. So the premise of Not Cops envelops the idea that we need to be reducing violence, we need to be creating systems that aren't reliant on violence, and then the way that we actually care for people shouldn't be based off of that premise either. So the campaign I'm running is the antithesis to what most people traditionally do when getting into politics. Because once you get into politics, you are saying, I am attempting to gain control over systemic and sanctionable violence. But that's not a conversation most of your politicians are wanting to have. They're not talking about the nature of violence in government. They're talking about the nature of government in the sense of service to the people. But when we think about representation, a lot of that ends up becoming intrinsically a lie, because representation is exactly that. It's a representation of the things that you're trying to incorporate. But in doing so, particularly through the duopoly and the way we mediate freedom of choice and voting and all this, we're lying to ourselves. A politician that is saying, I want to be there for the people, this is about people and not politics, obviously it's about their idea of the people. So we can think about the idea of the imagined community. When we think about what the imagined community is, under the premise of the current model in the United States, a lot of it is whitewashing. You have to assume the position of white supremacy, plainly. We don't need to split hairs maneuver around this conversation. The reality is we're still utilizing systems of the old that are being implemented today, and it's created this theater that is played out through uncertainty. Because at what point are we actually being spoken for or just lied to?